Good morning, everyone. We are Group 6 and we will be presenting the article Play Propaganda, the Sports of Ilustrados in 19th Century Europe. These are the sports that will be mentioned in this article. Are you guys all familiar with gymnastics, fencing, and lastly, pistol shooting? Alright, but before that, we will head on to the background of the author. The author of the article Play Propaganda is Mika J.L. R. Perez. He is an assistant professor at the Department of History in University of the Philippines, Diliman. His research interests include the 19th century Philippines, the history of Philippine sports, martial law studies, and Indo-Pacific defense and security.
The author was able to use both primary and secondary sources. Letters for primary, and they also included some journal articles, histories, criticisms, reviews, commentaries for secondary resources. He mentioned some letters of Rizal's daily routine during the 1889 Paris exhibition. It stated, "My daily life in Paris is spent in the following manner: 1 or 2 hours in the gymnasium and in fencing, 3 or 4 in the library. The rest I use up in writing and visiting friends." The letter provides us insights beyond Rizal's daily workout routine. There is, for example, an implication that Rizal's family had access to the same facilities he frequented or equipment he utilized in Europe.
Now let us move on to the context of the time which the work was written. A lot happened in the time frame of 19th century period. The 19th century witnessed a global dominant Europe. It was a revolutionary period for European history and a time of great transformation in all spheres of life. Human and civil rights, democracy and nationalism, industrialization and free market system all ushered in a period of change and chance. It is also the time of invention of modern sports and gymnastics. Modern sports first emerged in England from two sources, one professional and linked to the lower classes, the other amateur and bourgeois. 19th century in the Philippines is the rise of the Ilustrados. The Ilustrados, 19th century natives from the Spanish Philippines who were both educated and progressive, literally enlightened. They were educated in Spain and exposed to Spanish liberal and European nationalist ideals. The most well-known Ilustrados are Graciano Lopez Haina, Marcelo H. del Pilar, and Jose Rizal. These Filipino elites have a major part in the past of our beloved Philippines because of their heroic acts. In their campaign for reforms, the Ilustrados work hard to correct racist images drawn by Spanish writers about the Philippines and the Filipinos. The Ilustrados played a crucial role in Filipino nationalism by advocating for reforms and independence from the Spanish colonial rule. That's why in 19th century as well, a significant event of the Philippines occurred. The Philippine Revolution was a war of independence waged by the revolutionary organization Katipunan against the Spanish Empire from 1896 to 1898. For that, the sports of the Ilustrados in 19th century has something to do in nationalism? Let's see.
The main argument In its title itself, we can conclude that sports of the Ilustrados in 19th century Europe plays a vital role in the life of Rizal and their movement to freedom. The author of the article explore how these sports served as an activity associated with the cultivation of patriotic honor. And truly enough, our main arguments stands that showcasing proficiency in this sport, such as gymnastics, fencing, pistol shooting, and weightlifting, became a means of cultivating patriotic fervor. Because these sports not only portrayed masculinity and modernity by promoting and emphasized character attributes vital to the ideal image of a civilized European man, and all for the sake of building our nation. For the supporting details, through these sports, you will achieve the characteristics that delineated the civilized man from the savage barbarian. Being good at these individual sports was proof of self control, the discipline to practice constantly, and the ability to persevere under hardships. Sports afforded ilustrados like Rizal and the Luna brothers a means to defend Filipino honor, but it did so beyond mere posturing or image building. Excellence in sports became an active and dynamic form of counter discords given then prevailing assumption that no savage or barbarian was expected to have the necessary traits to become good at them. Next will be performing gymnastics activities such establish and maintain health by purposeful work, driven by principles of endurance, strength, dexterity, and physical beauty. Gymnastics instilled at a young age the value of discipline both in mind and body. Any competition in gymnastics was against the self, emphasizing the ability for self denial and thus self control that is vital when you lead a country. Engaging to pistol shooting showcased the hallmarks of the ideal sportsman: diligence, discipline, self control, physical stamina, and mental endurance. Rizal had a reputation for being an excellent marksman. He pursued his pistol practice with as much diligence as he did almost everything else. And the effort he put into his skills showcased all the hallmarks of the ideal sportsman. Fencing promotes individual initiative and discipline as well as respect, sportsmanship, and a well rounded form of mental and physical exercise essential for total health and wellness, all of which help children succeed outside of the sport. Ventura praised Rizal's full control over his own body. When added to Alejandrino's own observations, the feat painted a picture of Rizal as a reserved objective sportsman who projected an aura of full control over his physical and mental faculties. His daily practice also implied the possession of an impressive skill in handling a deadly weapon. By excluding so many of the ideal masculine values of that era, Rizal was both an intellectual and an athletic role model to his peers, a paragon of the civilized dignity that a native could achieve in a European world.
To further discuss these details, we will now enumerate the compilation of the ideas that Perez had written in his article. The first one, we will simplify the points of our supporting argument that sports had a direct relation to well being and intellect. This idea was discussed by Perez himself in his direct quote: No savage or barbarian was expected to be good at them. Pertaining to the competitive sports stated in the article, to follow this up, moral reformation was a huge part of the ideals of the Ilustrados. Through creating, say, a diversion, if you may, the then natives in Madrid were able to hold back from their vices through practicing fencing. This will further be expounded in the next slides. Lastly, this article had emphasized the physical prowess of Dr. Rizal and his exemplary skills in pistol shooting and even fencing. He was the epitome of a European sportsman, represented by a Filipino body back in his day. What do I mean by this? Let us hear the further discussion of these points by Miss Carnell.
Thank you for that. And for the question number 2, can this article help us to deepen our understanding on relevant discourses, on social issues, and on Rizal? The answer is yes. Through the article, we can see the desire of the Ilustrados to help the Filipino youth to overcome their vices in exchange of being involved with the sports that will help to establish their moral and virtue. In an article, Juan Luna wrote that a reputation as gamblers was a real calamity to Filipino fathers. Nalulung ang mga Filipino sa mga larong may sugal, baraha, at mga sabong. That's why Rizal's stand on this matter was not surprising, for he saw sports as an educational tool for moral education. From his perspective, the virtues that one could internalize through long hours of practicing a physical skill provided the most utility in the formation of a unique national identity that all natives could be proud of. Through sports, they had a chance not only to overcome the strength and skill of the colonizer in open competition, but also to rise above their own shortcomings, which were no less to blame for the abmisal, ab, abs, abs,
Abysmal.
abysmal. Through sports, they had a chance not only to overcome the strength and skill of the colonizer in open competition, but also to rise above their own shortcomings, which were no less to blame for abysmal state of affairs in the country. For Ilustrados, sports is a means for Filipinos to combat both internal and external opposition, ranging from their personal vices to the races who constantly dim them. Thus, do we have the same desire, just like Ilustrados and Rizal, to help and convince our fellow Filipino from the social issues and vices that destroying every family and the generation? Tulad ba ng mga Ilustrados ay sinasama natin ang ating bansa sa ating mga pangarap at natatamo sa buhay? Nasa pagpunta natin sa ibang nasyon ay hindi natin basta kakalimutan ang lupang ating sinalangan. Through their letters, tinuturuan nila ang mga Filipino na instead, nasayangin ang oras ng umupo sa sabungan, ay bakit hindi na lamang ito ilaan sa paglalaro ng mga sports tulad ng mga nabanggit upang mahasa ang kanilang intelektual? Here we see Rizal using sports for moral education in the same manner that he hoped it will achieve with his fellow Ilustrado comrades in Europe. Building the gymnasium was a deed that was even foreshadowed in the Noli Me Tangere. In the novel, the school Ibarra begins constructing in San Diego is supposed to include a gymnasium, an open space for games, and a track for running race and jumping in an open air. Rizal's dedication to teach sports as part of his effort to educate his fellow Filipino morally ensured that his students in Dapitan were also strong in mind and body through a curriculum that involved weightlifting and swimming. That's why I do believe that habit matters. You don't decide your future, you decide your habits, and your habits decide your future.
Hey guys, I really can't wait for the World Cup. Who do you think's gonna win it?
My dad said Brazil will win.
No. Argentina's gonna win because Messi will drill past everyone.
I wish Spain will win. My whole family supports them.
How about you, Andy?
I hope Germany will win.
Why?
My dad bet all my savings on them.
For the summary or the conclusion of this article, the Ilustrados use athletics to defend their honor and community by using its promise of physical training and moral education to dissuade gambling and frivolity. Sports help them internalize and project European virtues for nation building. The Ilustrados' distinctive masculine personality was shaped by their gymnastics, fencing, and pistol shooting skills. They believed that their time and effort in athletics would help Filipinos escape discriminatory and oppressive colonial control. Sports were an example of foreign influence on our nationality. This is our reference for our report. Thank you guys so much for watching. That's all, and I hope you learned something from our group. Bye!